I am excited for today's video, man. We have the most overrated fighters in the UFC today, guys, okay? This is just current UFC fighters, so as much as I want to go off about Tony Ferguson, man, he's not going to be here, man. We're going to be looking at only current UFC fighters. Maybe this is going to upset some people. Also, I just want to go ahead and say this. Just because I'm saying a fighter is overrated does not mean I don't think he's good. These are exceptional fighters. Maybe even the best of the best in their division, guys. I'm not saying they're bad. I just think either they have been overrated by the media, maybe overrated by TikTok UFC fans, man. I don't know, man. Let's go ahead and get into it with the first one, man. I'm already knowing y'all are going to say aged like milk if this man beats Jamal Hill. That's not what I'm saying, guys. Khalil Roundtree is a solid fighter, but there's some things we have to address with Khalil Roundtree. Again, guys, I love every single one of these fighters that is on this list, except for maybe the last one. But, guys, I like these fighters. They're not bad. Once again, I just think they're overrated. Khalil Roundtree has been severely overrated, maybe by the UFC itself, maybe even by Dana White. Let me take y'all back, okay? Sounding like J. Cole. Khalil Roundtree. If y'all don't remember, Khalil Roundtree tested positive for some sort of banned substance, okay? He turned himself in. It really seemed unintentional, but coming off a failed drug test straight into a title shot as the number 8 ranked contender. So, if you want to say Khalil Roundtree already has some Dana White privilege, I'm fine with that argument. But it doesn't just stop there, okay? He goes into an undeserving title shot against Alex Pereira, which was a great fight. Khalil Roundtree did well in that fight. He had some success as well. But Khalil Roundtree lost to Alex Pereira, and his ranking jumped up. Now, you could say his stock did rise from losing to Alex Pereira, making it competitive. But what? How do you move up in the rankings after a loss? To be honest, I could go on and on about how bad the UFC ranking system is. Khalil Roundtree, definitely one of the best light heavyweights on the roster. But what? And then Khalil Roundtree getting his custom shorts this weekend, which they're sick. People are complaining that Khalil Roundtree doesn't deserve shorts, man. I think everybody should get their custom shorts. That's a part of a main event, at least, or a big event. At least some sort of big star. I don't want to see a Roman Kopylov with custom shorts, man. Sorry to throw him under the bus. He's a great fighter. But Khalil Roundtree, I just think he's been overrated by the fans. TikTok especially, man. TikTok is bad. Y'all know I'm on TikTok, but TikTok has been bad for the MMA community. It's super toxic. And you see these random fighters that just get so glazed. But Khalil Roundtree is going to be fighting Jamal Hill this weekend. I'm not going to lie. I think people are overrating his performance against Pereira, which was great. But people are also underrating Jamal Hill, in my opinion. I think Jamal Hill is going to prove some people wrong. I'm picking Jamal Hill to win that fight, to be honest. That does not mean I think Khalil Roundtree is bad. Okay? Khalil Roundtree, a great fighter. But people forget about this dude's record. Recency bias is such a real thing in the UFC. People see his performance against Poatan and completely disregard his performance against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Arguably a robbery decision against Dustin Jacoby. Actually, Dustin Jacoby, that's a solid fighter. That's a crafty vet, man. But all I'm saying is Khalil Roundtree, he has some questionable losses on his resume. Also, he's got some decent wins. He doesn't really have a real solid win. He's got an Anthony Smith win. Yep, Anthony Smith. I know Anthony Smith is probably one of the GOATs of the UFC, but Khalil Roundtree, he got the finish, but in the third round, man. And again, no hate to Khalil Roundtree. I'm just saying if he's this marauder, if he's this exceptional light heavyweight, you should be getting Anthony Smith out of there in one round. But anyway, let's keep it rolling on to the next. Diego Lopez, man. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all do not want to hear this. Diego Lopez is my second favorite featherweight on the roster, okay? Behind my sweet Pookie Princess Volkanovski. Great fight with Volk, by the way. But Diego Lopez, and I'll be honest, I was wrong. I thought Diego Lopez was a future champion in this division. And I'm going to go ahead and take that back right now. Again, good fight against Volkanovski. He proved that he's one of the best featherweights in the world. But Diego Lopez, very dangerous fighter. I just don't see it yet. I don't see it right now. He's got to sharpen some skills, especially on the feet. Diego Lopez, one of the most dangerous fighters in that division. A lot of power in his hands. Even though his striking is pretty sloppy, man, it's like a mad dog just running at you, going crazy. But Diego Lopez, if he does catch you on the chin, you're probably going out. You're at least getting dropped, and he's going to jump on you with some vicious ground and pound or lock up a slick submission. Diego Lopez is pretty well rounded, dangerous in every aspect of the sport. But dude, the striking is just it's not elite whatsoever. And again, I love me some Diego Lopez, okay? I just don't think he has it in him. I don't think he has it right now, at least. Obviously, he can improve, but I don't see Diego Lopez getting over the hump, man. I don't see him beating, obviously, Volkanovski just beat him. I don't see him beating a Movsar Evloev in a rematch. And we all want to see Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez headline a Mexico card. It doesn't look like it's going to happen because Yair seems to be ducking, but I mean, does Diego Lopez win that fight? I really don't know. I really don't know because Yair is going to give him a lot of problems on the feet. Yair could possibly win that. And then even moving down the rankings, I think an Arnold Allen beats Diego Lopez. Maybe even a Lerone Murphy. And then John Silva, I think, beats Diego Lopez as well. So again, I'm not saying Diego Lopez is a bad fighter. I still believe he's one of the probably 5 best featherweights on the roster, but I just don't think he's a future champion anymore. Again, he still has time to improve. He can sharpen some things. He's got to work on his striking, but that's my main thing. To be a champion in this featherweight division, unless your grappling is like Movsar or Islam or Habib in them, you're not going to become champion. The featherweight division, these lower weight classes are just too skilled. Even though I don't think the featherweight division is that good right now, since Max Holloway left and Ilia Topuria left as well, and they're both still in the rankings somehow. But Diego Lopez, I love you. We're going to be getting in the gym, okay? We're going to be getting some work in. We're going to work on popping that jab, stop this, grabbing your Adam's apple, man. We're going to work on that tick, okay? Let's keep it rolling. Justin Gaethje, man. Where do I begin? Justin Gaethje. Part of the reason I wanted to include Justin Gaethje is because this man is delusional. Justin Gaethje, he is a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, okay? Like I'm saying, these fighters are good. Justin Gaethje might be the most overrated fighter in that division, though, okay? I don't think you can say Michael Chandler anymore. Nobody's rating Michael Chandler high anymore. But Justin Gaethje is calling for a title shot and threatening to retire. Justin Gaethje, the same man who's on a 1-fight win streak, and I get the circumstances. He feels as if he did the UFC a favor, and you can say that. He did in the BMF title fight against Max Holloway. But man, how do you have an argument of a title shot over an Arman Tsarukyan? Even a Charles Oliveira who's fighting for the vacant title, you can argue that. But if you go head to head, Charles Oliveira submitted you in the first round, okay? I know it was a very competitive, very hectic first round, but I would say Charles Oliveira deserves the title shot over you. So that's already 2 fighters just like that. And then, okay, what if Max Holloway beats Dustin Poirier? I will 100% get behind Max Holloway being in front of you for a title shot, okay? Because you had this argument that, it was an exhibition fight against Max Holloway. Max Holloway can argue that his last loss was at featherweight, so it doesn't count anything towards the lightweight rankings. And if Max Holloway beats a Dustin Poirier, he will have his back-to-back wins being Dustin Poirier and, yes, Justin Gaethje. And it's not even like Justin Gaethje's 1-fight win streak is insanely impressive, okay? It was a short notice Rafael Fiziev, who is also a very tricky matchup, a great fighter, but he's ranked number 11. But anyway, enough with the rankings. I think Justin Gaethje is severely overrated. I think he's been overrated, honestly, for his entire career. I have not been on the Justin Gaethje hype train, even though I love the man, okay? I love Justin Gaethje. I got to see him in person at UFC 313. But Justin Gaethje, he has trouble with a lot of guys in the top 10 nowadays. Justin Gaethje's not getting any younger. He's not getting any better, man. He showed improvements, 2 years ago. Fighting Rafael Fiziev for the first time, he looked great. And then he got completely schooled and outclassed and knocked out bad by Max Holloway. And the thing is, even though he beat Rafael Fiziev the second time, if you rewatch that fight, man, One big moment, and Rafael Fiziev wins that fight. That was a very close decision, to be honest. But if you look at the top of the lightweight division, Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria, I don't think anybody would pick Justin Gaethje to win that. Justin Gaethje versus Arman Sarukian, same thing. He does not beat Arman Sarukian. That's the fight that needs to be booked, but Justin Gaethje wants his title shot, man. But let's keep it going. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, the rematch. Charles Oliveira wins that one as well. And then you go down to Max Holloway. We just saw that fight, and it was not close, guys. Y'all are talking about fight of the year. That fight was not close. Even a Dustin Poirier trilogy, which I wish was going to be going down at 318. Unfortunately, it's not. I think Dustin wins that too. And y'all don't want to hear this, but Cousin Gamrot, I don't know, man, gives Justin Gaethje a lot of problems. Now, I probably wouldn't go as far to pick Gamrot in that matchup, but you get what I'm saying. Justin Gaethje, now that I'm thinking on it, maybe he's not as overrated as he once was. I feel like nobody would be picking Justin Gaethje in these top 5 matchups, to be honest. But Justin Gaethje, maybe he's overrated by the UFC. Maybe he's overrating himself trying to get this title shot. I just don't see it, bro. There's just no reason for you to be jumping the line to get a title shot. And the thing is, if you do fight for the title, the odds are going to be stacked against you, buddy. DraftKings, the UFC, you're going to be a massive underdog, okay? Nobody wants to see Justin Gaethje in a title fight, to be honest. He's the highlight man. He's entertaining. But you're not beating Ilia Topuria. You're not beating Charles Oliveira. You're not beating Islam. Come on, bro. Let's keep it going. Shavart Ragmanov, again, great fighter, exceptional fighter. You know, has all wins by finish, except for one against Ian Gary, man. But Shavkat, he's been severely overrated, okay? He's a great fighter, don't get me wrong. One of the best welterweights on the roster. But Shavkat Ragmanov, well-rounded fighter. But I would argue that no part of his mixed martial arts game is elite. I would not say he's an elite striker. I would not say he's an elite wrestler, elite grappler. He's got an elite chin, maybe. I know Shavkat's got a big old head. He's taken some shots. He's taken some vicious shots by like Jeff Neal and has not got knocked out. So maybe that's his eliteness, okay? Shavkat has an elite chin. Again, he's very good everywhere. He's good. He's got good striking, good grappling, buddy. But I don't think he's elite. I don't think Shavkat is getting over the hump. Again, this may be a hot take to some of you, but Shavkat is never going to be UFC champion. If you would have asked me this even a year ago, I probably would have said, yes, Shavkat is a future champion, but the welterweight division is too good. Oh, it's just so good. Now, if we go back in time, maybe 2 years ago, there was so many edits of Shavkat Ragmanov on TikTok, okay? Everybody's saying future champion. Everybody's saying that he destroys Leon. I've been saying he destroys Bilal Muhammad. Honestly, he probably would have beat Leon with the pressure. I don't know if he beats Bilal Muhammad. I don't know if he would have beat Bilal Muhammad with Bilal Muhammad being champion. You had your chance, Shavkat. You got injured. I know things happen, but this man's always getting injured. He's the most inactive fighter. Why do we want Shavkat as champion? He fights every year and a half, bro. I don't want that. And I hate to do this, but let's start matchmaking, okay? The welterweight division, JDM versus Shavkat. JDM called for it when he was on the come up. The fight did not happen. I know JDM broke his arm against Gilbert Burns and still won the fight. Now, from what I've seen from JDM and what I've seen from Shavkat, I think JDM beats up Shavkat. I think it would be competitive, but I think Shavkat's striking defense is not very good. Like I said, he gets hit a lot. I think Shavkat's whole face would be swollen shut, okay? He would look like Joanna Jędrzejczyk, okay? That's how I feel against JDM. I think JDM wins that. Moving on to Sean Brady. That's a very intriguing matchup. I really don't know who wins that. That's probably the hardest stylistic matchup. I can see Sean Brady getting it done. Again, guys, me saying that Shavkat's overrated, again, I got to say this again because y'all are going to take this the wrong way. Shavkat is a great fighter. He's probably one of the 3 best welterweight fighters on the roster. And he beats a majority of the ranked fighters. I just don't think he's this unstoppable force like y'all make him out to be, okay? He beat Ian Gary. He still won it very comfortably, even though there were some moments that, looked like Ian Gary might have got him out of there. Ian Gary grabbed his back, tried to lock up the choke, didn't lock it in, but he was close. I just think the welterweight division is too complete. It's too competitive right now. Ooh, some alliteration for y'all on this fine evening, but Shavkat Ragmanov is overrated, but he's still very, very good. Let's go ahead and move on to the final one. The only fighter on this list that I do not like. And those of y'all watching my page, y'all know why I don't like this fighter, okay? Again, just pulled out of another fight at UFC 317, but it's all good because my boy Joshua Van stepping in. Minnel Cop's overrated, bro. Minnel Cop is overrated. I've seen a lot of people say that he's a future champion. Maybe so. He's a phenomenal striker. I will give him that. Very fast. Very, very fast on the feet. But who is this guy beat? Who has Minnel Cop beat? Why are we even arguing that he deserves the next title shot? I've heard that. I've genuinely heard that. Minnel Cop should be fighting for the next title shot. Why? Oh, maybe it's because he's on a 2-fight win streak, bro. He beat Asu Omabayev. Oh, and before that, he beat Bruno Silva. Minnel Cop, again, great fighter in the division. He poses a lot of problems to a lot of fighters. I don't see him beating a Pantoja. I think he has a good fight with the Kakar France and Royval. I think he loses both of those, though. And it's not even like he's on a tear even beating up cans. This man is 6-3 in the UFC. Why does that grant him a title shot? Or even a number one contenders fight? Now, I know that the flyweight division is very stale. There's not a lot of personality there. Not even a lot of eyes in the flyweight division. Minnel Cop probably has the most personality of anybody in the flyweight division. But is he that special? This man's always talking trash and then pulls out of his fights. Y'all remember when this man and Muhammad Makayev had this severe beef, okay? They were fighting in the hotels, sneaking each other. They had like 12 security guards in the octagon before they fought. That was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen. These dudes were talking up a big game like they were going to kill each other, rip each other to shreds. And there was probably a total of 20 strikes landed in the entire fight. Now, maybe I'm stretching it, but y'all get what I'm saying. And let's not forget, Minnel Cop lost that fight. I believe he lost 3-0, maybe 2-1, but he still lost 3 fights ago. And I know the circumstances are different, but he lost 3 fights ago to a fighter who is no longer in the UFC. I just don't see the hype, man. I don't see the hype until he's proven it, until he goes out there, beats a Brandon Royval, maybe beats a Kaikar France. I'm not buying it. I think he has a lot of trouble with a lot of guys at the top of the division. I don't think he beats Royval, Kaikar France. I don't think he beats Moreno. And even a Steve Erceg is a very tough fight for him. Now, me personally, I want to see Minnel Cop fight Kai Asakura in the future. I know they fought in the past. I want to see that in the UFC. And the thing about Minnel Cop is I think he might be the most entertaining fighter in that division. I just think he gets overrated. I think it's mostly by the fans. He also gets some favorable matchups sometimes. Maybe even an easier path if you want to say that towards the title. But it is what it is, man. And the thing is, this man was a 2-1 favorite against Royval before he pulled out. Now, I was 100% picking Royval to win that fight. I don't know. See, even the odds makers are overrating this dude. I don't think he gets through Royval. Why is he almost a 3-1 favorite against the number one contender, bro? Because he beat up Bruno Silva, man? Stop it. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for me. These are the most overrated fighters in the current UFC roster to me. Maybe we do one for the most overrated fighters of all time because I can cook right there. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button. Comment something if you disagree. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments or maybe comment some other fighters you think are overrated as well. But be sure to subscribe, turn the post notifications on, man. That's going to be it for me once again. I appreciate y'all, and we out.